So, what do you think of the fact that People Before Profits bill regarding abortion has passed now to the next stage in the Dáil?
I'm very surprised. I suppose not shocked, but the government are playing their usual games. These are the parties in government, especially Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, who went out in the referendum to repeal the 8 to give commitments, that abortion would be safe, legal and rare. And now we see these shenanigans last night of ducking and diving, they going missing, more of them abstaining, literally to allow this bill to pass. We were confronted with this situation of supporting the government's amendment, which we did in order to try and stop the bill. That's the rule independence and I. But otherwise we wouldn't have voted against that amendment because that's only delaying it for a year. So what's really effective going on is games being played in here with the lives of the unborn. And we see already the carnage, the tens of thousands that have lost their lives since the 8 was removed. And we see the numbers last year. We saw all through COVID, where if your hand was chopped off, you couldn't get into hospital. No matter what emergency you were waiting for, and you could walk in and get the same amount of abortion treatment. So this has been clamoured all the time to remove any safeguards that were given. The 3-day wait period, the full gestation period. It's horrific, to be honest, but the shameless way that the government colluded and allowed this to pass last night will be forced now next week, and next week we'll come back, and every other week with demands to have this bill read a second time and move on. So it's a mad, desperate rush to open the floodgates completely, have no protections for the unborn, let alone to say the health and the mental health of the mothers or the wider families or anything else. So the safeguards that people voted for because of the safeguards, now they've just been cast away. But a sleight of hand away this government, especially Fianna Fáil and somewhat Fine Gael, have dealt with this. It's just it's sickening.
On Fianna Fáil, a couple of weeks ago, I questioned Taoiseach Micheál Martin about the fact that several government ministers were giving sort of ambiguous statements about the 3-day waiting reflection period, and they were kind of saying, oh, well, we'll have to look at it, making it sound like they might be open to getting rid of it. And that was a very explicit promise made by most of the senior cabinet during the referendum. And his response was basically, he said, oh, well, it's not a matter of reneging on promises, we're just considering things. What would you say to that comment from the Taoiseach?
He's a downright traitor. He's proved that with all the carrying on at the moment with NATO, with neutrality. The Fianna Fáil Ardèche some years ago voted 90% to 10 not to do it. He just threw the back in their face. He was already done in the campaign. In fairness to the Taoiseach, I thought a couple of weeks ago said, look, there were commitments given during the referendum. We have to look at this report. We know it's with the Health Committee. But Micheál Martin is an abject disgrace what he has done. It's a party that were pro-life. And still we had ministers and all there giving these ambiguous answers. Look, they're currying favour with the electorate, they think. But they're all in the one bucket as regards dealing with all the Liberals. So he's let his party down with a bang. People are humiliated up and down the country that stood at church gates and collected for them pro-life people of family people of faith and none, and they're totally. But we know his colours before now. He's shown his yellow colours. He's shown his diabolical disrespect for the Irish people and above all human life in this case.